Good afternoon, YouTube. Fat Cat Collections back at you today with another watch review. And I'm pretty excited about this one because I just picked it up last week. I've been wanting it for a while. And, you guys know that I love gold, right? So what I did was I had a watch in my collection that I really didn't wear all that much. I picked it up maybe about, I'd say a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And I probably only wore it like 5 or 6 times. It's not because I don't like the watch. It's a beautiful watch. It's a great looking watch. But for some reason or another, I just wasn't really drawn to it like I was when I first got it. That watch was the Coalition Forces. So I put it out on my Facebook page and I made somebody a really great deal on it for only $200. It's a fantastic price for that watch because I paid, when they had a really great sale on it, about $250. And I sold it to one of my Facebook buddies, Jeffrey Parkmore. Thank you very much for picking that up off my hands. It allowed me to go ahead and get one that I know I'm going to wear a lot more. Like I said, I'm really into the gold, as you guys know, and I love the Subaqua Noma 5. And I already have a Subaqua Noma 5 in the silver, and seeing the gold, I just had to pick it up. And the time was right, the price was right, and I went ahead and got it. Here it is right here. This is the Subaqua Noma 5 done in all yellow tone gold. I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of a close-up here of it. And I'm going to get back and just talk about it a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you some wrist shots on it, because that's ultimately what you guys like about my channel, is the fact that you get to see what it looks like on a guy my size, my height, and my weight. And ultimately, even if you're a bigger guy or a smaller guy, you get a real good idea what it looks like on the wrist, okay? Now, unless you're a giant or a really huge, enormous guy, of course, this is going to look a lot smaller than it does on somebody who's probably an average size like myself, maybe a little below average as far as the height factor there and the weight. So, a little bit about the watch. I'm just going to go ahead and take it off real quick, and then I'll show you some close-up shots. This model number right here is the, and I always forget, so I always have to check. Just bear with me for a moment. This is your Subaqua Noma 5 17626. 17626? Correct, 17626. Again, if you like this video and you like the watch and you want to go ahead and purchase it, now's the time to do so. There are some great deals on Invictas. And remember that Invicta, those price points really jump. So when they have them available and a lot of people are selling them, that price drops. It gets competitive like anything else. Then, of course, once they get, sold out, just like the one I sold to Jeff, that particular model number, you cannot pick that one up for under $450 right now. So it's just kind of the way Invicta does their pricing. It's, supply and demand, naturally. So this one here is a great time to get this. Now, I already have, again, a Subaqua Noma 5 in silver, and I got that one in the COSC Certified Chronograph movement. And that one there's got the skeletonized face and the exhibition back, and all silver. It's one of my favorite watches, and, well, they're all my favorite watches, really. Let's stop kidding each other here. I love all the Invicta watches. They're fantastic. But, gold is kind of my go-to. For some reason, when I have a gold watch on my wrist, I just really feel like I'm wearing something pretty special. That's just my opinion, just my style, it's just what I like. Now, to say I don't like silver watches, I love silver watches as well, but I had to pick this one up in gold, and like I said, I'm really glad I did. Now, I paid about $350 for that probably about 2 years ago, and that was a good deal then. So now, you can pick this one up for about $250. If you're interested, go ahead and check the link in the description. It'll take you to my website where you can find a little more information. Go ahead and click the link, and it'll take you to where I got mine for the best deal, the fastest shipping, of course, and the best service. So, again, a little more about this watch. I'm going to get a little closer here. The other one I have is a Certified Chronograph movement, again, with the exhibition back. This one here has your standard, standard stainless steel back, which I personally don't really care really much about the exhibition backs because they're on your wrist. You really don't see them. This one here is done in the all navy blue face, and it kind of has a, you probably can't see it by the picture, but it actually has kind of like a, almost like a carbon fiber texture to it, but not flat like carbon fiber is flat. This has a texture, almost like a basket weave is probably something that's more accurate as far as description is concerned. Navy blue on the face, it almost looks black. And then, of course, you have your gold polished hands. The whole watch is done in a yellow tone gold. This particular watch uses three different finishes on it. You have polishing. The polishing is on the sides of the band, the sides of the case, of course, the hands, and a little bit around the bezel ring, right on the inner ring right there. And again, like I said, the sides of the case. Then, of course, you have your satin finish. And your satin finish runs down the center of the band where you have these 3D lattice work links in the middle. Of course, you can see that on the sides as well on the other side. Then you have a satin finish on the bezel itself. And, of course, some satin finish on the pusher parts, okay? And this lug system on here, the pushers and lugs, Invicta won some awards to this. It's just an absolutely amazing design, and they've incorporated this particular design on their new Invicta Hybrid Venom. Definitely one to check out as well. And then, of course, you have your brush finish, which is on the sides of the face of the band. And then, of course, you have a little bit of brush finish on a few of the pusher parts, and of course on the clasp back here. So 3 different finishes on this watch. Even though it's one color, it really stands out, and the way the light hits it in different angles, it really makes it look like, not that it's a different color, but you really can see those finishes on this watch. A little more about it. Again, you have your screw down function pushers, which are really, this is a very innovative design. What they've done is when you turn the pusher, instead of your sleeve moving, the pusher actually extends, and of course when you close it, it retracts. Then they've done this butterfly tab on your crown, which is a screw down crown. You unscrew it, pops out, you set your time and your functions, of course. Or not your functions, but your complications, I believe is the right word for it. You have your polished Subaqua logo in the middle. Then you have your retrograde day of the week, where once that hand gets to midnight on Sunday, it will snap back, okay, to Monday, I believe. I'm sorry, once you get to Saturday at midnight, it'll snap all the way back to, so last night, midnight, boom, snap back to Sunday, which is done in red. I know you can't see that. This I'm using an iPod here. It's about as close as I can get without getting blurry. You have your large day of the month window. Of course, you have luminescence on several parts of the face, and again, that's a navy blue face. And then your bezel, again, has a little bit of lattice work pattern on the sides for grip. It is a unidirectional bezel, and you have a little bit of luminescence right on the top of this kind of hump. The Noma series, actually, depending on which one you get, has a certain number of humps. So this one's the 5, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 4 is 4, and so on. What else about the watch? You have your, I always get this screwed up here, but I believe it's your helium release valve for diving, so the watch doesn't explode. I don't wear these watches diving. I don't dive. I don't even swim. But nonetheless, that's what it has. That's kind of their whole theme, the dive watches. And water resistance on this one here, I forget what it is offhand. I think it's 300 to 600 meters, but don't quote me on that. Go ahead and check that out. Definitely not as that you don't have the water resistance that your Venoms or your Hydromax has, but you have plenty of water resistance with this watch to where you don't have to be concerned with anything. And then of course, like the band has this 3D pattern where it actually sticks up on the side. You can see, and then of course you have your different textures where you have this satin finish, and then you have this kind of 3D recessed lattice work pattern. Just a beautiful, beautiful watch, guys. I mean, I can't express to you how nice this watch is and how unique it is. My first day, I got like 7 compliments on wearing this one, so it's a beautiful, beautiful watch. What else about it? Not really too much else to talk about there. It is powered by a Swiss-made Ronda movement. I forget which one. It doesn't really matter. Most people, when I put those things on there, aren't really concerned. Remember, you can go ahead and check out PHATKATWatches.com and get all the information you need on the movement, but it is a Swiss-made Ronda movement. And I'm just going to show you a couple more shots here, some close-up shots. Just a rich looking watch. Now this particular model is made in a gold face as well, and is made in the black face. I probably might have gotten the black face had it been available, but I'm really glad it wasn't, because I don't have one in navy blue, and this one looks really nice in navy blue. It's a really rich color combo. Now, one watch I definitely want to pick up, and if you guys see anything, let me know. I don't know if Invicta makes one, but it's a yellow gold watch. I'm not really too particular on the model, you know. Well, I guess I kind of am, but in like a wine colored face, I think that would be a beautiful color combination. If this was done in a wine face, I definitely would have got that one. But I'm really glad I got the blue, because I don't have any blue and gold combination watches. And what else? They also make this watch, just want to throw it out there, in a wonderful rose tone and, I'm sorry, no, is it either rose or gold tone with brown. So you have brown mother of pearl face and then brown lattice work links in the middle. Definitely check that one out if maybe gold is not your cup of tea, or all gold is not your cup of tea. You're like two-tone watches. But man, guys, this is a fantastic piece. And if you're interested in this, now is the time to get it. Trust me when I tell you, you know, I've been buying these watches for over 2 years now. I've been collecting for over 10 years. Invicta really has sparked my like passion in the last 2 years, but I've been buying them, like I said, 2 years, and the prices really jump around a lot. So when you see that deal, you got to jump on it. And this is a fantastic deal for this timepiece. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on the wrist now. I'll show you some wrist shots. Again, I am about 5'7", 5'8" inches tall. I weigh about 170 pounds, although I just got over being 6. I'm probably down to 165 right now. So the watches, all my watches have been fitting a little bit loose on me. But I have about a 7-inch wrist. So today, probably a little less. I'm probably more like 6 and 7/8, 6 and 6/8. Anywhere from 6.5 to 7. Now, some guys ask me questions. Oh man, I have a 6-inch wrist. How's it gonna look? My coworker, he's also an Invicta collector as well. He's got a 6-inch wrist, and you know what? The watches look just as good on him as they do on me, or on a wrist that size. So if you have a smaller wrist, remember that just because your wrist is a little bit smaller, you may have hands and forearms a lot bigger than mine. So it really doesn't make much of a difference if your wrist is smaller, okay? So let me go ahead and show you some, I'm going to show you some closer shots here, just so you see what it looks like on that wrist there at this distance. I'll get a little closer as well. And the point is, I really want you guys to be able to see, again, what it looks like on the wrist, because that's what makes my channel really different. That's what has caused my channel to sell so many Invicta watches. Hundreds and hundreds of people have purchased watches based on my videos, and it's been really awesome when you guys post pictures and tell me you got it, or you're waiting by the front door for the UPS guy. It just cracks me up. It's like kid on Christmas morning, you know what I mean? And these watches just, they do that to you, you know? I'll get back a little bit here. And I'm just going to take off my sport coat and I'll show you what it looks like just a little bit more with my arm exposed so you can get another idea of what it's going to look like here. See what the band looks like from the back there, if that's helpful at all. And I also want to just throw out just something else too. Another gentleman commented the other day, and he's not the only one who's commented, and he got a watch in the mail. Unfortunately, he did get a bad one. I think he's in another country. I believe it was Belgium maybe, I'm not really sure, but he ended up picking up a watch. I don't remember which model it was. I think it was one of the more entry-level Invictas. What happened was he got it, and he's asked me, how do you start the watch working? Basically, folks, remember, these watches, when you get them, should be working. Now, sometimes a manufacturer, when they, or not a manufacturer, but a retailer, will, before they sell the watches, if they have an inventory, they will pull the crown out. So they unscrew, pull the crown out to your first position or second position. What that does, it puts the watch in a time setting mode or a date setting mode, and it stops all movement of the watch. Now, I personally don't know if that's a good idea to keep your watch like that permanently to save battery life, because remember, there are moving parts, and man, like anything, it seems like, anything in motion just keeps moving. You stop moving, it's like you stop, So I think it's kind of good to kind of keep these watches moving. I always activate the chronograph too once in a while because I don't keep my chronograph moving. And what I mean by that is when you get your watch, let me just touch base on one thing first. When you get your watch, you're on a chronographed watch, your small, in this particular model, it's right here. Your small chronograph, or that's your small second hand, okay? That is supposed to be moving at all times when the watch is activated, okay? Now, the only time that your main hand, your large sweeping hand, should be activated on a chronograph watch, on most chronograph watches, is if your chronograph is active. Now, when your chronograph is active, every chronograph is a little different. Some will have, I believe, I don't know much about which graph does what or which hands do what, but some will have I believe it's let's see, on this one it is the 6th of a minute, I think is what it says, spinning it all the time, all the way around in a circle, spinning. I don't know if that's just like more of a decorative or kind of a feature of the watch. I have other ones that don't do that, but remember that when your chronograph is activated, that second hand is moving, so you're using a lot of battery power to do that. On a chronograph, technically, of a chronograph like this, on most of the Invicta watches, and most chronographs in general, when your second hand is moving, okay, chronograph is moving. When your second hand, or your large sweeping second hand is stopped, it's at the 12 o'clock position. That's where it's supposed to be. That's the way they've made them. That's the way it works. And if you want to keep your chronograph moving, I don't think it's going to hurt your watch. I'm not sure about long-term wear because you have a lot of movement going on there. I don't think it's probably not a good idea, but again, it's a good idea to activate the chronograph once in a while, keep things lubricated, keep things moving, but you'll definitely kill your battery power in doing so, if you like that large second sweeping hand constantly moving. That's not the way it's supposed to work. So, with that being said, when you get your watch, if you find that it's not moving, make sure that you check the crown first. Make sure you set the time, make sure your crown is pushed in and screwed down, okay? You should see your small second hand moving. If you want to activate the chronograph, what you do is you take your top pusher, okay, we're going to go like this angle. Take your top pusher and you press that button. Then you'll see the large second hand sweeping starting to move, okay? When you press that, you stop the chronograph. When you press it again, you start the chronograph. When you stop the chronograph, if you want to reset it to 0, you press your second function pusher. You'll see your large sweeping second hand swing all the way around and back to 0. Or back to 12, excuse me. And you see mine is top dead center right there. That means my chronograph is not on right now, and that's the way you're supposed to wear these watches. Now, if you go through that process and that small second hand is still not moving, you either have a crown that's out or a dead battery. So I just want to touch base on that for a guy who just talked to me about that the other day on YouTube, and I'm sure there might be other people who have that question. I know it was unrelated to the watch, but just some good knowledge for you in case you get one in the mail and you're like, oh, it doesn't work. Again, if you get one in the mail and you've gone through that process, most likely you either have a dead battery, your crown is out, or you unfortunately picked up a bad watch, and it does happen across all brands, okay? So I just wanted to throw it out there. So again, that was, getting back to this timepiece, this is the Invicta 17626, I believe is what it was. All yellow gold, navy blue face on this one here. Subaqua Noma 5. If you like this watch and you want to pick it up, again, I urge you to do so now. Check the link in the description. That'll take you to my website, or in some cases directly. It depends on what I've updated on my website. Sometimes I'll just put a link directly to the places where I buy my watches, which is going to give you the best service and best pricing. Go ahead and click that. That'll either take you to my website or eBay. Now, guys, remember, if you do want to help support the channel, and I'm honest with you guys, I always throw this out there, that when you buy a watch, there's lots of places to buy Invictus. Sometimes you get really great deals on online retailers. Other times, most of the watches that I buy on for Invicta, I just kind of wait till they have deals, and then I buy them through eBay. I found that eBay has some of the best prices. I generally try to use one of my favorite sellers, ET Watches. He's been fantastic. There's a link in my one of my videos for ET Watches, giving my review of him. He's a great seller. You can get a watch from him from the East Coast in 3 days. And lots of other people, when they use UPS, it takes forever. So he's great. Go ahead and click the link in the description. You'll probably get some of his watches. That's where I got this watch from, ET Watch Store. So again, check the link. It'll bring up several of these watches on eBay. Find the ones ET Watches. He's got the best price, the best service, the best shipping, and he inspects these watches before they go out. Okay, so that's really important. Okay, a lot when you deal with like huge companies, sometimes they don't do that, and it increases your odds of something bad happening. Of course, I haven't really had anything really happen other than one bad watch, like I've said in other videos. So, and also, guys, if you like the channel, subscribe. There's a link also in the I believe in the upper left or right hand corner. Pretty easy to subscribe, or underneath the video. That'll give you notifications every time I upload a new video. There's a lot more videos and watches and cologne reviews coming. Also, what I was saying about those links is when you go ahead and click those eBay links, if this video was helpful, you want to make a decision to purchase the watch, you feel good about purchasing it through eBay, click my link to get to eBay. What that does is that puts a cookie, as long as you don't delete your cookies, in your browser, and then if you make a purchase within 12 hours, it actually gives me a kickback, which helps support the channel, buy new watches, buy more equipment, and just keep this whole ball game moving. So, again, thank you so much for watching my channel. Definitely get this on your wrist. And again, thank you so much for subscribing and watching. We're going to crack 3,000 subscribers here any day now. And it's been a lot of fun sharing my passion for watches and cologne with you guys. So again, have a great day.